Alright, YouTube, it's Aetherus back in with today's updates, and wow, so we've got Champions of the Contest, and this thing, like the previous two, is long. I'm going to try to keep it short. I read it all this time so that I wouldn't be reading it with you guys. I want to hit some highlights. On the Champion Design Vision, they talk about, you know, a lot of the first part of it is just how they go about building champions. They talk about how complexity doesn't necessarily mean a quality champion, and I kind of think of this as, the OG Thor. I mean, he's pretty basic. Even the OG Hulk, they're pretty basic, but they still have some pretty good uses. And I mean, with the Hulkbuster update, OG Hulk is still relevant nowadays, and he's going to be more relevant, I think, that you'll see. And so they talk a lot about, why do you want this champion, and they're trying to understand why people make the decisions they make, and so forth. They talk about right here scouring feedback on what fights abilities need better counters, and then more new tech is coming. Again, this choice doesn't have to mean complexity. So this quote, no champion can be strong if you don't understand it, a lot, right? There's some champions where it's like, some of their abilities and their signature stuff is just, it's a mile and a half long, and you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize I was gonna, have to spend 10 minutes reading it before I could play the character. And so they're looking at, to move more of the complex decision making between picking your team and starting a fight, right? So they're trying to take out the time of actually having to make the decisions and, make it a little easier to do. More stuff in a kit isn't necessarily better. Just keep it focused and impactful, right? Interactive but predictable. Again, this, they kind of talk about their methodology and what they go about doing it. But then we get to this part, and this is where things get interesting, the balancing, right? So they talk about how it used to be where they had one team for champions that would spend some time doing the new champions. And what this led to was the reason it took Hulkbuster, 8 months to be released, is because they could really only work on them when they weren't working on the new champions, and they were always putting out new champions. And so, you get a little bit here and a little bit there, and that's why it took so long. Well, now they have decided that, they realize that they don't want people to just use 8 champions in game. And so what they're going to do is they have hired people. I mean, they're making a killing off this game. So what I think they've done is they've hired a few more programmers or something, and they've split a team. So now you have a new champions team and an update champions team. And so now this is how they're going to go about bringing in 2 new champions a month, and maybe even more, or like and they talk about this, and it's really actually pretty fascinating to hear, right? And so what they do is, what they talk about is, they talk about 4 stages. Balance, so that means the champions are, what we consider God tier and above God tier and beyond God tier. And some of these champions that everybody wants, these are the ones you're targeting, right? The Corvus Glaives of the world, the Nick Furies of the world, the Quakes of the world, right? And they're good enough for now is what they say, right? You know what I mean? They just don't need anything. They're amazing. And they talk about tune-up, right? So no ability changes, just tuning up numbers. And they say Torch or Sentry, which Torch, to me, if you're talking about Human Torch, I think is an amazing champion. I think he should be in balance. But Sentry, he does have some great ability. I've got him as an Awakened 6-star, but I never use him because he hits like a pillow, right? And it takes forever to ramp him up, and he's got to have synergies and right? I think that's what they're talking about with the tune-up. The update, the numbers and minor ability changes, but largely the same kit, a la Red Hulk or Carnage. So when they updated Carnage, it was pretty easy, right? They updated how his power gain worked. They updated how his bleeds worked. You know what I mean? And there was just, it didn't take this massive rework like Hulkbuster did, right? So that's what they're trying to get at there. And then the overhaul, right? Hulkbuster and Colossus. And look, Hulkbuster and Colossus are now, I haven't really played Hulkbuster all that much. I only have him unawakened on my main account, but I have Colossus Awakened as an R4, and he's amazing. he does so much damage, and he ramps up really quickly. But those took a long time. It took months to do, right? And so what they're doing is they say they're going to start out with a 3 buff rotation, right, or 3 build rotation, right? And so they're going to do the overhaul first, and then the tune-up, and then the update, which I find is interesting because they're going to take the overhaul, the big one, the one that needs a complete revamp, right? And then they're going to do the tune-up, right? Just tune up some numbers. So take Sentry and just jack up his numbers. So take his attack value and raise it by 20% or something simple like that, and boom, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh man, Sentry's pretty good now, right? And then they're going to do the update, and then back to 1 and repeat, right? And they're going to do this for a couple months until they can add, I guess, more people to the strike team. And then they want to do 2 of these, each of these every month. 2 of these. We're going to get to all 150 champions pretty quickly because, remember, this is just a team working on just this, which is pretty amazing, actually. And, unlike some of their other plans, some of the other dev diaries, this actually has a fair amount of detail with what they want to do. And they don't give champion releases except for the first one. They can't give everything away, right? But this is a lot in it, right? So in the first full rotation, you're going to see 2 overhauls, right? 2 overhauls. We don't know who that's going to be because they say in September, build 1, September version 28.1, which, if you look, is Magneto. So they're going to update Magneto and Magneto Now. So they're going to do 2 overhauls, and they want to be really aggressive with Magneto. And then they're going to do a tune-up Punisher 2099, and then 2 updates, Gambit and Falcon, right? And remember, you're getting new champions every month on top of this. So I'm glad my Gambit's ranked up. That's for sure. Punisher 29's ranked up. That's pretty cool. So it's pretty amazing that they already have this out. Now, next is Magneto, right? So Magneto at the end of August, early September, and that when they first update it. So the update usually comes out a couple days before the new EQ goes live. And I talk about the Master Magnetism is finally getting the treatment. Like, he's one of the Omega level mutants in the comics, and he's one of the worst champions in the game right now, except for certain circumstances, right? Let's be honest, nobody's using him, right? I'm taking mine up right now. I got him. So, but it talks about how Magneto is kind of the villainous side, and Magneto Now is the heroic side. Which, if you're not comic savvy, you may or may not have known that. But they're giving both kits a full overhaul, okay? And Magneto looks to be like the damage dealing hero, and it looks to be like Magneto Now is going to be kind of on the same side, but it looks like their synergies and their buffs are going to be used for aggressiveness on the Magneto side and for ramping up other champions. I'm assuming mostly X-Men on the hero side. So that's pretty cool. So, you could take 2 Magnetos in together with a few X-Men. I don't know, maybe the new Wolverine and Professor X, for example, because they tease him here. Because it says there's a reason we're working aggressively to have Magneto ready for the end of August. Already represents 2 polar opposites. There's an even more iconic duo that Magneto is a part of. So it looks like Professor X is finally coming to this game in September and October, right? They're probably going to have... I think it's the September version. I really do. Like, you're going to have Professor X and both Magnetos on the same team with maybe a Wolverine and a Cyclops. Like, I mean, how much better could Cyclops get immediately? And, I mean, they're tuning Gambit. Like, this is going to be pretty crazy. I think this is a really great idea. I think this is extremely cool. And they... look, they tease it, but come on, like, of course it's Professor X. Like, that's amazing, right? And then it says completing the roster, right? They talk about, how there's over 150 in just the basic 5-star pool. They talk about how, you're getting 5-star Wolverine, and there's a deal right now, right? But that they're going to probably just throw him into the basic pool here in the next few weeks anyways. So... Then they talk about 5-star Scarlet Witch is soon after summer. So she might be coming in the September, October patch as well, which, man, September, October, like, holy cow with this game. Like, it's going to be crazy. And, coincidentally enough, like, hey, it's September, October is a few months after the 4th of July deal, and they're trying to make a lot of money, right? They're going to base pool tuning. So then they talk about crystals, and they talk about this crazy new crystal, which sounds amazing. And they're going to alternate days. So you're going to get a dual class basic hero crystal for 10,000 5-star shards. So just like a normal hero crystal, right? And listen, I've been saving up for my birthday. It's been a week, right? And I was gonna do this massive opening, and now I don't know, because I'm gonna still open them on my birthday. I want to do a massive birthday opening. I think it's really cool, but as soon as that's over, I'm starting to save my 5-star shards because they have these dual class basic hero crystals coming out. So for the normal 10,000, there's no more, 11,000 or 15,000 or 20,000, you get to pick one of two. You get to pick two classes. So they're gonna do, if you look here, like mutant and skill together on day 1, day 4, and day 7. So it'll only have mutant and skill champions in there. Oh, thank you. You're eliminating. You're eliminating what, 60% or 75% of the pool at once. Like, that's amazing. You're literally taking out 67% of the pool right away, and now you only have a chance at 33% of the basic pool. So, a third of that. So that means roughly 50 champions instead of 150. Now, while that's still RNG based, that's pretty good because it's choice again, right? You still get to choose it, right? And then improve 5-star and 6-star feature hero crystals, right? So this one that they currently have right now, this current 5-star feature hero, it's great. There's only one champion that, like, if you rolled on it, you're probably like, right? Maybe 2. But all of them, if you land on one, man, they are really, really good. And then there's this wish crystal. This thing sounds ridiculous, right? So basically what it says is you're a Cavalier crystal. You're going to be able to. Now, they don't talk about, they haven't got it all fleshed out yet. But their idea is you can pick 5 champions from each class. So it'll have 30 champions of your choosing, right? And you can choose from those 30. It'll choose from those 30 champions. So it's up to you. You're gonna get you're gonna get a champion you want, plain and simple, because you're choosing them. This needs to happen immediately. Like, this is brilliant. I absolutely love that. And late 2020, early 21 timeline, right? And the crazy thing is that you got to think about this. If they're gonna do 2 to 3 updates every month, including a massive overhaul, a tune-up, and an update, then you're talking that at December 2021, that's 6 months. That's 18 champions that are going to be updated. Plus, you're getting 1 to 2 new champions a month. There's going to be some amazing champions that you're going to want that are in there. I can't tell you how excited I am for the future of the game, right? But they're not done. They talk about signature stones. They talk about solo events getting updated. So where XP boost, bye-bye. Now, I will say on my alt account, I'm kind of enjoying the XP boost. On my alt account. On my main account, not so much, because I'm level 60. It doesn't matter. But on my main account, I hit a level every few days now because I'm just throwing on 50% XP boost on top of the sigil every month, and it's 70% more experience points. I'm just flying through the levels, and with the new this level 60 cap, it's important, right? So I don't think they should get rid of XP boost totally. I think once you hit level 60, I think they should just go away, right? But they talk about bigger reward update in 6 stones. They're talking about 1 signature stone crystal for 5-star every day on the 22-hour events, right? That's a huge help. Look, it's something, right? It's not necessarily great. I wish it was like a +5 or something, because there's going to be all these champions that are going to be updated, and you're going to want to revamp them, and you're going to want to rank them and level them and get their sig levels up. But it's on the right path, right? And then Cavalier players be able to get a 5-star signature stone crystal and a 5-star generic per one. Now that's really good, right? Because now you're getting 2 per day, right? And one of them is generic every day, potentially, right? And then they're also looking at other modes where signature stones would fit. They haven't locked down anything after solo events yet, right? 6-star stones are not necessarily ready to commit to anything yet. I honestly think they're going to put stuff in the 4th of July deals, and they're going to kind of see how those get purchased out. And then I think it's going to be more, those are going to be offered more in deals. But that's just my thought right now, right? And then they just thank us, and they thank the CCP, and they thank us as a community for all the support, all those comments and the stuff that people put up. And so, wow. My takeaway is this had more detail to it than some of the other ones. It talked about their methodology, which was fine and whatever, but they talked about crystals that they want to do, how they're going to update them, which is crazy good. I think people are going to love opening crystals a lot more now because there's more choice. You're going to get to, and there's going to be more choice coming later. You're going to get more signature stones, so you're going to be able to use those champions more. They're going to update them at a much faster clip. All great stuff. Love it. And I think that, it's very, very cool. So anyways, if you like what you saw, like what you heard, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks.